Hello, I'm Katie Derham and welcome to the Richard Burnett Historical Collection of Early Keyboard Instruments, which forms the core of what used to be the Finchcocks Musical Museum and which is still the most exceptional resource and charity for anybody who's passionate about early keyboards.
Hello everybody, my name is Gary Branch and I'd like to welcome you to the home of the Richard Burnett Collection of historic keyboard instruments to introduce to you a wonderful instrument from the mid-19th century built in Paris. So I'm standing by an instrument built in 1842 by Ignaz Pleyel in Paris. Pleyel was one of two very prominent makers of instruments in Paris at this time, the other being Sebastian Erard. Now, looking at this instrument, we can see that it looks now a bit more like the modern piano we're used to. However, the casework is much more austere, now being covered in a single veneer of mahogany, compared to the earlier 19th century instruments which had inlays and mouldings. This is now much more just an overall beautiful instrument with this lovely veneer. Looking inside this instrument, we have a very unusual feature, a cover which is over the strings and soundboard. Now we know that 19th century instruments had this feature in most of them, however they were not attached to instruments and over time they've been lost. This instrument, however, would have originally had this device bracketed in. This actual cover we have now is a reproduction of that. But what was its purpose? Well, several or two main theories have come to light. Firstly, in the 19th century, people would have had fires, open fires in their houses to heat them. And obviously that would have created a great deal more dust in the atmosphere. That dust would have obviously moved around the room and could have collected on the soundboard and strings, perhaps affecting the sound in some way or the quality of the instrument. Therefore, these could protect the piano from that dust. The other possibility is that as the instruments were growing in sound, resonance and volume in the 19th century, that this could be actually somewhat overpowering in the home, disturbing family and maybe neighbours. So it would be nice to have a device that could somehow muffle or reduce the harmonic effects of the overall sound. We will never know what the actual reason for this particular feature was, but it's worth speculating about anyhow. The Pleyel piano is synonymous with the great pianist and composer Frédéric Chopin. Leaving his native Poland, he travelled to Vienna aged 18, where he learnt about the Viennese forte pianos. Then travelling on to Paris, where he settled for the rest of his very short life. In Paris, he discovered the two great makes of Pleyel and Erard. And it's here where he performed and gave concerts, wrote his music, that he was also a prolific teacher. Charging exorbitant fees to the aristocracy of Paris at the time, we've been fortunate from them to learn so much about his thoughts on his music, his piano technique, and also the pianos he liked to play. And it is the Pleyel piano that he enjoyed playing the most. We know this from what he said to one of his students in his commentaries. It goes along these lines. When I feel out of sorts or weak, I turn to the Erard piano because it makes the sounds for me. Whilst when I feel strong and on good form, I like to play the Pleyel piano because it answers all my musical needs. And one of the interesting things about playing the Pleyel piano is how sensitive and quite difficult the action can be to play compared to the Erard piano, even though they basically are designed in the same way as the English school of instruments such as Broadwoods. The other feature that Chopin particularly liked about the Pleyel piano was the una corda. Now, Chopin was a great lover of the bel canto style of singing, which was all the rage in the opera houses around Europe at the time. He regularly went to the Parisian opera houses where he would hear the greatest opera singers of the day. And many of his melodies tried to recreate this bel canto style of singing. However, in certain pieces, he referred to his students about the fact that he wanted an ethereal or divine sound from the instrument for the melodies that he was writing. One such melody appears in the middle of the Waltz in C-sharp minor, where it transforms into D-flat major. Here he suggests on the Pleyel piano that you should play it with the una corda depressed. So I'm delighted now to perform to you the Waltz in C-sharp minor by Chopin, Opus 64, number 2. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Pleyel piano and its association with the great pianist-composer Frédéric Chopin. Thank you for watching.
If you'd like to find out more about the charity and the workshops and the events that take place here, then please do so. If you'd like to support, we'd like you to do that as well. Go to the comments section beneath this film or go and visit the Finchcocks charity website.